Turkish mayor, Ufigi, stop provoking me. I will literally fire you, okay? What? Zohran is a secret Khojest. Do Albanians have music that literally sings about Zoran? No, they don't. Us Yugoslavs have had Zoran music for the last 30 years. He is a secret plant together with Melania, and I will die on this hill, okay? Eternal jihadi communism entering Manhattan. It's gonna make if we're gonna do woke ISIS, it's going to be fucking beautiful. It's going to be fucking incredible. Thank you from the beginning for Zohran for hyping us up with those beautiful 10 gifties. Thank you for being the first taxpayer of the day. Now let's get into it. Eric Adams is Turkish. There you go. Eric Adams is literally Turkish. We have a proud Yugoslav finally kicking out a Turkish man in the center of American power, also known as New York City. This is the only way you should pronounce New York City. This is the only way you should pronounce it.
You really are the most devious bastard in New York City.
Well, New York City, okay? Say it with me, chat. Say it with me. New York City. I want everybody posting. I want all 140 of you posting. New York. Oh my God. Okay, don't do it.
You really are the most devious bastard in New York City.
Well, okay, we are changing it. When Zohran comes into power, it is going to be mandatory. We will have NKVD priests / death battalions forcing everyone to properly say New York City, okay? You become a citizen of New York City only if you pronounce it properly, okay? New York City.
The most devious bastard in New York City.
Well, it's so good. I already missed that show. Oh, I already missed that show big time. New York City. Very good chat. Thank you for properly pronouncing the city from which communism shall sprawl into every single corner of the great American expanse, okay? We will have red flags pinned on top of insert name of very tall mountain in the United States. Not gonna lie, Trump using tariffs to force the rest of the planet to develop trade outside of the U.S. sphere of influence really lends credence to Melania being a Yugoslav agent. Trust the plan. JD Pondon is a long-term plan of the great Yugoslavian revenge for our unfortunate dismantling. Okay. Trust the plan. Also, you know the job. You know what you need to do. This art was made by a person in the Discord chat as a thank you for our 200th episode. I think it looks really sick. Please retweet this shit, like this shit or whatever, so we can have as many new chatters in chat as possible. You know what to do. I delete these after I post them, so it's not going to fuck with your algorithm. I had a viral post. Oh my God, 78,000. That's crazy. 7.3 million views. The posts that go viral on X.com, the dumbest fucking platform, the nothing platform, are always these like ultra simplistic posts. Charlie Kirk mural in Belgrade, Serbia lasted 24 hours. A lot of you guys on the previous stream on Saturday were like, look at what your Balkan people are doing. This is so embarrassing. And I agreed. It's very embarrassing. But 24 hours later, we have this, okay? This says, death to NATO fascists. This says, my cunt, my choice. My pussy, my choice. But Pichka is more cunt than pussy. Then we have all these three beautiful symbols that all of you know about. This symbol as well, the fourth symbol you all know about. Here it just says racist. And then it says Zionism equals Nazism. And then we have a little trans flag. This, like the way they did it, really feels like what's the name of the app that we use where we dominated Chattanooga, the geography app where you can paint. WPlace, I think. WPlace, right? WPlace. Are we still strong? Oh my God, we're still very strong in WPlace. Very nice, okay? The way the Serbs did this one really feels like a WPlace attack, okay? They literally WPlaced this. Like, it's very, very much like how you would fuck up a thing you don't like on Vplace or WPlace. And it's a big W. Kirkovic, it's very fucking funny, isn't it? And they all took this like, obviously we have great comrades in Serbia that immediately destroyed this, but the few terminally online traitors, because to be a pro-American conservative Serbian is the most, like, it's like being a black KKK member. It's the most nonsensical thing on planet Earth. It's so fucking stupid. One of the most anti-American countries on planet Earth, and you are propping up an insanely deranged right-wing American that probably doesn't even consider you Serbian. And the pitch on why they did it, just to give you a context, is because there's one video where he's basically talking about how he's basically doing racism, and he's using the fact that Serbs are very, very successful in basketball. Yugoslavs in general are very successful in basketball. And he's basically saying like, oh, look, if you're not from a woke country, you can become very strong and be really good at basketball. We are a decaying society because we are woke and we let blacks basically play basketball. It's fucking idiotic. It's completely idiotic. But he said a single good thing about, I don't know, Serbian basketball players, and Serbian right-wingers were like, oh, I love it. And then other normal Serbians were like, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm very good. Pass. Next. Thank you. Okay? Who the fuck is supporting America in the Balkans, though? Except for the Albanians, but to an extent I understand the Albanians because, that's how shit goes. My former university has 5 Yugoslavs on the basketball team this year. Dude, we fucking grind that shit. We fucking grind that shit. Anyways, chat, welcome to another stream. Pour yourself your favorite spicy or non-spicy drink. I got a little bit of vodka in this glass. I'm going to be drinking with you throughout this stream. I hope I do not fall off my chair. Always remind yourself that you should pay your taxes, because that's what brings me great joy, and that's what brings me more bottles of vodka in my background and gives you joy because you support the show. Let's get right into it. Zohran, the beginning of the fall in good old America. Can you please add this to the playlist? Let me see the link, my dear friend Robo. Let me check it the fuck out. This is Fascists Can't Create Why They Steal and Silence Music. That's awesome! Hell, absolutely. This is fucking great. Shit, there you go. Robo, amazing suggestion. Amazing suggestion. We might even watch this today. If not, we're definitely watching this. This is a great suggestion. This is right in my alley of expertise, if you want to call it that. Anyways, let's start out with Comrade Zohran, the great communist jihadi, coming for all the wives and all the children of New York.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Nermeen Sheikh.
New York Mayor Eric Adams has announced he's dropping out of the race just over a month before Election Day. In recent weeks, President Trump and New York business leaders pressured Adams to drop out of the race in an effort to help boost the campaign of disgraced former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who's running as an independent. Polls show Cuomo is well behind New York Assembly member Zohran Mamdani, the Democratic socialist who shocked the political establishment in June when he defeated Cuomo in the Democratic mayoral primary. There have been reports Adams might drop out ever since he met with one of President Trump's closest advisors, Steve Witkoff, in Florida earlier this month.
The New York Times reports President Trump has considered offering Mayor Adams and Republican mayoral candidate Curtis Sliwa positions in his administration.
Crazy, eh? Literally the meme. Liberals potentially working with unironic neo-fascists in order to make sure an actual leftist does not become the leader of a important city. Where have we seen that happen before? Oh, yeah, everywhere. Literally every single time. 100% of the time. Every time.
To clear the field to help Cuomo, including in Adams' case, possibly making him ambassador to Saudi Arabia. Sliwa said recently he was even offered money to drop out. Well, today we're joined by the man President Trump does not want to become mayor of New York. That's right, Zohran Mamdani. He's in our studio to talk about this breaking news and more.
If you want to hear about my, let's say, relatively complex relationship with Zohran Mamdani, watch the deprogram episode on Zohran Mamdani. I think it's called Jihadi Socialism or something. Just watch that episode. I'm not sitting here saying that there's not a lot more to, for one as a socialist, to want from Zohran. There's a lot of shit that can be criticized, but there's a far outweighing basket of potential benefits. If I was to explain my particular perspective, it would take me an hour. I'm not going to take your time out of it. Whenever you're in the gym or driving or whatever, watch that particular deprogram episode, and you're going to get the entirety of the context. But I very, very openly do not believe, neither does Hakeem, neither does JT from the deprogram, that he is, the way certain other Democratic figures are, a pipeline for real leftists to become pacified and become Democrats. This is not the nature of this particular power dynamic. You are very welcome to disagree. I would understand why you would disagree, but we can only know what the long-term effect of someone like Zohran is going to be if he potentially wins, okay? If he loses, it's shit. If he wins, it's potentially shit or potentially good. I'm going at this from a completely utilitarian perspective, and I think that's a very fair perspective to go at it, because you have one of the most class-conscious political candidates that I've seen pretty much in my lifetime running in the United States versus unironic, insane fucking reactionaries. The way it goes, time will tell if the power mechanisms that be are going to re-co-opt him or not. And that's to a very large extent. Very, very rarely is history dictated by individuals. But when it comes to Zohran, it genuinely will depend, and this might sound a little bit naive, but it genuinely will depend on the strength of his individual principles. Let's see where it goes. I am trying to be optimistic because I have to be optimistic. What is the alternative? What is the alternative? Nuance is not allowed. Pick a side, commie, live depending on personal preference. Yeah, that's what people want from us, lesbian hot sauce, but I refuse to do that, okay? That's what gets you money, okay? If I'm sitting here and saying that Zohran is the next Lenin, I'm going to get crazy subscriptions. Or if I sit here and scream that he is a reactionary force of pacification in the Western Hemisphere for the labor aristocrats to destroy the rest of us, I will also get a lot of money, okay? So if you think that it's a shill position to sit somewhere in the middle on an issue like this, no. It's the opposite of the shill position. Fuck your dialectics and fuck your nuance. Absolutely.
Zohran Mamdani, welcome back to Democracy Now! It's great to have you with us.
Zohran is a bet, okay? Zohran is a dice roll. Zohran is a blackjack game where you got 16, okay? Okay? Nobody knows if the next card is going to get me to 21 or is going to get me over 21. Both groups are betting. That's why I'm not shit-talking either group. But I am also standing on the fence. Let's just call it that.
Respond.
Comrade Crip, thank you very much. Despair is typical of those who do not understand the causes of evil, see no way out, and are incapable of struggle. The modern industrial proletariat does not belong to the category of such classes. I love you, man. Thank you very much, Crip, and thank you for the 16 months. Thank you very, very much.
Significance of
I would show my respect by throwing up a sign, but I think that would be disrespectful as hell. Thank you, my brother.
Adams dropping out of the race. Does this surprise you?
You know, it is something that has been rumored for quite some time that this would be the month, this would be the week, this would be the day, and today we've finally seen it. Yet it is also an encapsulation of so much of what has characterized Eric Adams' mayoralty, is decisions at the behest
of President Erdogan. Finally, the state of New York frees itself from Ottoman occupation. We all... For half a millennia, they had occupied so many peoples. Many had liberated themselves, but the Kurds and the city of New York had remained under Ottoman occupation up until this day. The Sultan, the Vizier, not the Sultan, the Vizier Eric Adams has been kicked out. Let's see if replacement viziers are going to be able to stand up to the great anti-imperialist leader of our time, Zoran. And when I call his name Zoran, and it's not a disrespect towards his name Zohran, I am basically being like one of us when it comes to being a Balkan. Because Zoran is a very Yugoslav name. It's not a Croat name, it's not a Serbian name, it's not a Bosnian name, it's not a Macedonian name, it's not a Slovenian name, it's a Yugoslav, it's a commie name. So it's additionally kind of low-key beautiful.
Characterized Eric Adams' mayoralty is decisions at the behest of Donald Trump and his billionaire donors and at the expense of working-class New Yorkers. And what we see in this moment is very much what we saw the day we started this campaign on October 23rd. A necessity to finally stand up to the days of big money and small ideas being what characterizes City Hall, and instead
shit, big money, small ideas. So that's fucking great.
Delivering for the very working class New Yorkers that are being priced out of that same city.
Well, let's go to what Eric Adams had to say in a 9-minute video message announcing his decision to drop out. New York Mayor Eric Adams did not mention you, Zohran, or Andrew Cuomo by name, but he said this, which has been viewed as criticism of your campaign.
Major change is welcome and necessary, but beware of those who claim the answer to destroy the very system we built together over generations. That is not change, that is chaos.
Wait. Okay. Wait. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, this is Louis XVI. This was the king during the French Revolution. Now let's play this again.
Which has been viewed as criticism of your campaign.
Okay, let's view this again. Imagine you're living under feudalism. You're a peasant, barely making ends meet, fucking dying of like 12 different versions of the plague, while they are living it up pedophile orgy style. And then they come out and they say this. Now, listen to what he's saying and contextualize it with another historic figure, okay?
Major change is welcome and necessary, but beware of those who claim the answer to destroy the very system we built together over generations. That is not change, that is chaos. Instead, I urge New Yorkers to choose leaders not by what they promised, but by what they have delivered.
So, Zohran, your response.
Literally, the 17th king in a line of kings that they were the only people that could ever rule the country are like, okay, you don't want kings, but have they ever ruled? We have ruled. We have shown you, mistakes or not, but we have the experience. Now, if the simple poor rabble choose to govern the great French Republic, everything will go down because they do not know just how difficult and complicated it is to run a country. Literally, there's no difference between this gentleman and the subclass of American interests and this individual. There is none. There is absolutely zero motherfucking difference. And remember, we had major fuck-ups after we got rid of people like him. Don't get me wrong. And just like how there will be many fuck-ups with socialist revolutions and so on, before we get to the true, most, let's say, realistic and practical application of socialist thought and the complete overhaul of capitalism, we did also when we introduced capitalism, thankfully, when we overthrew feudalism, okay? But they screamed at us, no, feudalism better than this new, parliamentary democracy capitalist system that you're introducing and so on. And, we spend 100% of our time here shit-talking capitalism, right? But it was a major, impressive improvement over the disgusting feudal aristocratic, I get to be king because God chose me to be king type shit that we had back then, type shit. And they're trying to do the same thing again. Those guys with the new ideas, with the fresh ideas, those that want to change the status quo, don't believe them because where's their experiences? Where's their experience to back it up, quote unquote? Motherfucker, all of human history has progressed because we trusted new motherfuckers with very little experience to come and change things up because the stale alternative of the status quo is almost always much, much worse. Thank you to Gabriel Hellborn, to Surplus Value City. Welcome to the community. Gabriel, thank you for the 17 months. Surplus, thank you for joining the community. And thank you, J. Rome. Thank you for the 3 months. Thank you very much for the 3 months. Let's continue.
What they have delivered.
So, Zoran, your response?
Well, I...
Literally, Cuphead, you put it beautifully. You don't want kings, yet you live in a monarchy. Or it's like, you don't want a monarchy, yet you can't imagine what that would look like, so you shouldn't do it. That's unironically what monarchs said to the masses before they did what they did. But the masses were like, nah, man, like, this shit sucks. Even if the alternative is problematic and it's going to be complicated and it's going to suck short term, there's nothing worse than this. And New York City is the pinnacle example of this. New York City, okay? New York City has a far greater imbalance of wealth than even Paris did before the French Revolution, okay? And we allow these capitalists and these capitalist-adjacent politicians to sit there and tell us, but you don't know what could come next. Maybe it can be worse. Worse than what? Worse than what? Worse than me living in a toilet? That being the only thing I can afford, even though I make like $150K a year in New York? Worse than what? Don't even get me started on the people that make 60, 70K, the fucking meat of the whole city. What's this, my love? What? The fuck? Yeah. This, what Eric Adams said, is literally this clip. For those of you who don't know it, it's going to be very interesting. For those of you who do, it's going to be a nice recap.
Man, sorry. What knight lives in that castle over there? I'm 37. What? I'm 37.
I love how it literally starts with a misgendering. That's so modern. I don't even think it's intentional. Like back then, I don't think they were talking about gender in the context that we do today. But I love how it literally. I haven't watched this clip in at least like 3 years fully. I only see the meme. I love how it starts with a misgendering, really showing the contrast between progress and the boot.
I'm not old. Well, I can't just call you man. You could say Dennis. I didn't know you were called Dennis. Well, you didn't bother to find out, did you? I did say sorry about the old woman, but from behind you looked... What I object to is you automatically treat me like an inferior. Well, I am king. Oh, king, eh? Very nice.
They even touch on the misgendering. There wasn't as much inequality in Paris, primarily because the court was in Versailles. Paris was not literally the NYC of the Kingdom of France, largest city, but not capital. Yeah, but that's why I used Paris, because like New York is not the capital, right? But even if we compare the wealth inequality in Versailles with with New York, you would still have a greater wealth disparity in New York. But still, people live much better than they did in fucking feudal France. Don't get me wrong. But the contrast is absurd.
Forget that. eh? By exploiting the workers.
What's up, Cafe?
By hanging on to outdated imperialist dogma which perpetuates the economic and social differences in our society. If there's ever going to be any progress...
Dennis, there's some lovely filth down here. Oh, how'd you do?
How do you do, good lady?
This is how I chat. This is how I imagine all of you. I'm kidding, no.
I'm Arthur, King of the Britons. Whose castle is that?
King of the who?
The Britons.
Who are the Britons?
Well, we all are. We are all Britons. And I am your king.
Oh, didn't know we had a king. I thought we were an autonomous collective.
You're fooling yourself. We're living in a dictatorship. A self-perpetuating autocracy in which the working classes...
Oh, there you go, bringing class into it again.
Well, that's what it's all about. If only people would... Please, good people. I am in haste. Who lives in that castle?
This is low-key, like, for the bar people in chat, like people that go out. This is like you're just with your bro, okay? You're minding your own business, and you're diving deep in, I don't know, fucking... the Leninist reinterpretation of material dialectics applied to real-life scenarios and how it gets a little bit more complicated when you want to put it into practice. Such type shit of such, and then there's just a posh guy that wants to stand in between you to order like a bottle of Grey Goose or some shit, and he hears you, and you're just minding your own fucking business, and then they come in and they not ruin the whole night for you, but you both look at him. He makes like an absurd argument because he overheard you talking about evil communism, and you're like, oh shit, fuck now, like I can't talk to you because you're unironically a troglodyte. Like, you have to sit down and we have to talk for an hour just so that you understand the words we are using, boy. Okay. It reminds that's a joke that I'm stealing from a friend that's also a socialist, IRL friend. Women in chat, I think you will appreciate this. He's like, the way cis straight dudes, right? The only way for cis straight dudes to understand what a woman in a bar feels like is when they are talking about Marxism and somebody overhears them. The context there is, what women get done to them like 24/7. Some fucking chud idiot coming and just thinking they know more about the topic because they're a dude and they're a lady. The only way for a cis straight dude to feel this millisecond of that is when they're talking about Marxism and somebody that doesn't know anything about it comes in and starts like fucking just explaining it back to them, and you're like, what? What? I think he contextualized it really well. And then when I contextualize that to myself, because I experience this very, very often IRL, I'm like, holy shit, women are so fucked. Women are so fucked. Women, you are, oh my lord. Oh my lord. You guys, oh lord. Not fucking easy, man. Not fucking easy. Or not fucking easy woman, you know?
Then who is your lord?
We don't have a lord.
What? I told you, we're an anarcho-syndicalist commune. We take it in turns to act as a sort of executive officer for the week.
Yes.
But all the decisions of that officer have to be ratified at a special bi-weekly meeting.
Yes, I see.
By a simple majority in the case of purely internal affairs.
Be quiet.
But by a 2/3 majority in the case of more...
Be quiet. I order you to be quiet.
Order, who does he think he is?
I'm your king.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
You don't vote for kings.
Well, how'd you become king then?
The Lady of the Lake, her arm clad in the purest shimmering samite, held aloft Excalibur from the bosom of the water, signifying by divine providence that I, Arthur, was to carry...
I love how they still kept the sound of the mud slapping over the poetic music in the background and him just staying there.
Excalibur. That is why I'm your king. Listen, strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. Supreme executive power derives from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony. Be quiet! Oh, but you can't expect to wield supreme executive power just because some watery tart threw a sword at you. Shut up! I mean, if I went round saying I was an emperor, just because some moistened bint had lobbed a scimitar at me, they put me away. Shut up! Will you shut up? Now we see the violence inherent in the system. Shut up! Oh. Come and see the violence inherent in the system.
He's doing monopoly of violence to me. He's doing monopoly of violence to me. Why is nobody calling this political violence? But you'd call political violence when somebody gets shot because they're preaching a political system.
Help!
Is this a political violin? Is he going to play political violin?
I'm being repressed, bloody peasant! Oh, what a giveaway. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, eh? That's what I'm on about. Did you see him repressing me?
Yeah, and I can't say it on because of TOS, but the only
See the violence inherent in the system. Help! Help!
see because this is a representation of a quote unquote physically peaceful protest. Okay, this is a representation of a peaceful protest. The whole movie would end. It would end right there if this character, which he should not, because we really believe that should never be done, just turn around and stab him like 5 times in the neck, like right. And the movie would end, right? The movie would end. And then, but then there's going to be a part 2. And in part 2, everybody's going to make the king a martyr. And then like 100,000 soldiers of the petit bourgeois, the knights and so on, and the enslaved serfs are going to come and kill these dudes and all their families and everything as a means to reject this political violence against the king. But then that will inspire a reaction to that, which will potentially speed up revolution. This is me reading this movie from an accelerationist perspective. Thank you, Draco Dev, for the 3 months and the 4 full months. Thank you very much. Imagine a Bulgarian willingly giving money to a Serb about to get disowned. Come here, keep up the good work, Hugo. No ti благодаря, брат. Merci. What was it? Всичко dobro, brate. Всичко dobro. Thank you very much.
I'm being
fucking love Bulgarians.
Repressed, bloody peasant! Oh, what a giveaway. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, eh? That's what I'm on about. Did you see him repressing me?
Anyways, a great allegory for what Eric Adams said about this incredibly handsome man pursuing the establishment of the jihadi socialist state. Cheers, anybody who's drinking, have a sip with me of water, of course. I love you guys.
I'm not surprised to hear any of these critiques or points from Eric Adams, because it is Eric Adams' mayoralty that has delivered us with a city where 1 in 4 New Yorkers are living. And in that
Monty Python was ruined by annoying Reddit types who played it out, but the show films themselves actually stand up. Okay, I think they stand up really decently, and never let them ruin it for you. Okay, never let them ruin it for you. A more modern example is Peaky Blinders, and an unironically like class-conscious show that does very decent political commentary and sometimes very decent left-wing criticism of socialists in that era of Britain. But it's been co-opted by what? Fucking Sigma grindset compilations. In a similar way, Monty Python was completely co-opted by Redditors and so on. But you shouldn't let them. Don't let them. Don't let them. There's so many people in chat right now posting the fucking frog, right? Remember when we were like, oh, if you post the frog, you're a fucking fascist or whatever. Don't let them have cool shit. That's completely on us. Don't let them have cool shit. I'm even simpler allegory to this is, I don't know, the fucking Dr. Pepper, not Dr. The fucking boots. Why can't fucking commies wear very aggressive, long fucking leather boots? No, fuck you, right-wing skinhead. Left-wing skinheads did it before you. We're taking it back. Take as much back from them as possible. Don't let them have shit just like that. Never have them have shit just like that. Because we have I'm not saying that you do it, my friend, but we have a very intense tendency in our general movement or whatever the fuck to immediately, when we see a thing that's like directly or indirectly associated with the right, and it's only associated with the right because they co-opted it, we're immediately like, no, I don't want to touch this. It's problematic. It's not problematic. Their association to it is problematic, but the thing itself is not problematic. Don't let them have shit. Especially aesthetics, because that's all they have. All they have is aesthetics. It's D&D IRL. All they have is aesthetics. Never let them have an inch of any sort of aesthetics. re-co-opt them. They can co-opt it from us. We can re-co-opt them. We even the most unhinged shit like shit that sounds like almost impossible to co-opt. The fucking armband. Who do you think was the fucking Spanish revolutionaries and Maoist guerrillas were the ones that started the fucking armband with particular ideological sentences on them as a means to differentiate with somebody else? And then the Nazis came and they put a fucking swastika on an armband and were like, oh, we're incredibly cool looking shit. Oh, no, you can have it. No, they cannot have it. And at one point, we will even take back the armband. We will take fucking everything back because almost all of it is originally ours. If not ours, from different progressive revolutionary movements that were trying to get rid of feudalism or slavery or anything in the past. They don't got nothing. What is the Trump administration doing right now? It's co-opting one of the most toxic aspects of modern digital leftism, which is, so-called cancel culture that lands you fucking Netflix contracts, but that's okay. And they're even trying to co-opt that. Like, it's don't let them have shit because it's not their shit. Don't let them have shit. Anime already did. Embrace it. Yeah.
Adams' mayoralty that has delivered us with a city where 1 in 4 New Yorkers are living in poverty. And in that same video, he diagnoses what the issues are that New Yorkers face. He speaks about the necessity of lowering costs, of improving quality of life, of keeping New Yorkers safe. And I don't contest the diagnosis. I contest his delivery, however. This is a mayor who raised the rent by 12% on more than 2 million
What the fuck, 12%? I didn't even know this.
New Yorkers. A mayor who priced New Yorkers further out of childcare. A mayor who has time and time again exacerbated a cost of living crisis, whether by raising the water bill or supporting Con Edison when they wanted to raise gas and electric. And so I wouldn't take advice on addressing that same crisis from the man who's been inflaming it time and time again.
Well, could you say, Zoran, what do you think the impact of his dropping out will have on your electoral prospects?
I think it's very much the same race.
It is. Like, let's be real. Like, we're celebrating this as a W, and it's a W, but it's a symbolic W. Eric Adams would have gotten, 3-4%? Like, nah, that guy is cooked completely, man.
Seen over the course of this race, especially in the final weeks and months of the primary, that Andrew Cuomo wanted nothing more than a one-on-one fight with me. And we gave him exactly that, and then we beat him by 13 points.
Yeah.
And we continue to be just as confident. And yet what separates us from these other candidates is that we're not focused on them. We're focused on New Yorkers. New Yorkers deserve leadership that is thinking about how to benefit the people of the city. And too often politicians, be it Andrew Cuomo or Eric Adams, the meetings that they have or the phone calls with someone like Donald Trump, they're only speaking about themselves. It's time to actually think about New Yorkers.
So in the New York City mayoral race, the Republican nominee who's still in the race, Curtis Sliwa, says at least 7 wealthy individuals have offered him money to end his campaign. He says he's going to stay in the race.
Don't let them have anything except for 3 meals, a cot, a free education, and a job out in the fresh Siberian air. I mean, even those propagandized by the system and not in quote unquote the executive body of fascist movements, one should never forget it. It should be in their dossier the same way if you stab a guy on the street should be in your fucking dossier forever, right? Like, because you fucking did it, and it should impact to an extent how society treats you. I'm sorry. But it should. But, fascists become fascists, not the executive body again, but fascists become fascists because of their particular material conditions and their interaction with fascist rhetoric and so on. So most of them, unironically, this is not me being a hippie or whatever, most of them can be turned into very decent fucking contributing members of society. But the propagandists, the ones that knew exactly what they were doing, we're not Fed posting here, but you know what happens.
If you can talk about that, who you think.
Vietnam allowed previous Southern fighters to work and even own farms in the new worker state after the end of the war. Re-education is invaluable, absolutely. And we have far better tools at our disposal for re-education than like fucking camps or whatever bullshit. So I think it can be faster, it can be more humane, and so on. And the reason, I know this is very unpopular, but the reason I concentrate on it being more humane is because it is the most principled Marxist take you can have on it, because we believe in systems making people the way they are. We don't believe in random fucking individuals just being evil for the sake of evil. Your most annoying uncle that is a piece of shit reactionary is a piece of shit reactionary because of the life he led, because of everything that informed his particular opinion. Not because he woke up one morning and he was like, I'm a cunt. Right? Most of the Safarian chatter, I primed it. Yeah, let's prime it. Give that Bezos some good money. Reminder for everyone to pay their taxes. Right, !tax. And you will see how you're supposed to pay taxes. We only have a couple of days left to potentially reach the target. I'm going to be in China next month, and I would love to stream through there, but I need additional stuff. I probably will need like $150 fucking VPN even to pull shit off. So let's try and hit it. 20 gift subs are a tax for Westerners. We already have one beautiful Westerner that has paid their taxes. 10 gift subs if you're a Westerner who happens to be an ethnic minority, and 5 gift subs. The ones that lift up half the sky of chat is the developing world, which is 5 gift subs. Thank you for even considering it, but you don't have to. If you subscribe individually and so on, it's all very appreciated. Thank you, Father Nuvu. Thank you very much for giving the gift. And but yeah, you always keep in mind, if you can't afford it, please don't. Obviously.
These 7 wealthy individuals are, and are they the same people who are funding ads to the tune of millions of dollars against you?
Well, I can tell you there's no shortage of Trump donors who are seeking to influence this election, who are looking to spend more money than I would even tax them to try and stop our campaign. And at the same time, of Eric Adams, Andrew Cuomo, and Curtis Sliwa. Curtis Sliwa is the one that I would...
New York is like the pinnacle of a unironic dystopian cyberpunk state, because I've been there plenty of times, at least like 5-6 times. It has some of the wealthiest people on planet Earth, and yet when you walk the streets, you don't necessarily have to look out for potholes. There's still potholes, but there's something much bigger, heavier, and organic that will impede your ability to walk the beautiful streets of Manhattan, which are dying homeless people. To live in New York necessitates a level of ideologized brainwashing, respectfully to all New Yorkers, because otherwise you would unironically lose your mind from actively seeing death and despair at every corner of the city. Most American cities and so on, especially in the more rural areas, can close their eyes on the cost of wealth inequality. New Yorkers cannot. New Yorkers, for example, people also from Miami, people from Chicago and so on, they see it every day. So you either have to be extremely naive or completely dehumanize homeless people and drug addicts and so on. Or you have to be fully ideologized in the quote-unquote American exceptionalist ideal that even though we have people dying on our streets, probably it's much worse everywhere else. So let's love our country and love our city in order to be able to survive day in and day out. Every time I go, I get incredibly severely depressed because of what I see and because I do not have that either American exceptionalism or hatred towards homeless people embedded in my ideological depiction of self. NYC is a cyberpunk city without the cool aesthetics of Sean King, but all the poverty instead. Yeah. That's the big L of cyberpunk writers, because they imagined the future of late stage capitalism to be much cooler than it's going to be. Much cooler than it's going to be. Part of Trump's takeover of U.S. cities is to push homeless people into slums so the wealthy are not bothered by their poverty. Absolutely. And that is a necessity. That is an absolute necessity of the stage of capitalism that we are in right now. Because this is not coming out of my ass. This is what feudal lords and aristocrats living in, for example, large French cities did. But they did not have to do it to the extent that we do now. What's the difference between feudalism and now and the treatment of the massively impoverished? Back then, you did not have the petit bourgeois, and you did not have proletarians somewhere in the middle, professional managerial class, or whatever you want to call it. People basically in the so-called middle that still suffer immensely, but have something to lose if the system was to fall through. So in feudal France, you could unironically just make massive castles and massive parts of the city where it's only the aristocrats, the feudal lords, and now the burgeoning burgher class. They only live there. They don't have to look at absolutely anything else. In capitalism, though, the contradiction is larger because the meat of your production base and your, what keeps up the status quo are walking all the fucking streets, and you cannot build big enough, let's call it zones, where you segregate the super poor from the average and the super wealthy. In big cities, America is king in segregating the poor from the wealthy, but in more rural areas. Like, let's say Texas. It's all suburbia, suburbia, suburbia. What is suburbia? Suburbia is them intentionally segregating themselves from the issues of the urban areas. But in cities like New York, cities like Chicago, cities like Miami, and so on, LA, don't even get me started, that is a literal impossibility because the whole point of the city is to live in the urban center. So, what does a reactionary state need to do in order to keep up appearances of stability? It needs to not segregate the privileged from the underprivileged. It needs to get rid of the underprivileged. It needs to get them out of those areas that we're speaking of. And that is what they're going to start doing with greater and greater and greater intensity. Because it's necessary to keep up appearances and to making sure that the American ideal of exceptionalism continues to survive. U.S. city planners use highways to divide cities. NYC famously was divided up by Robert Moses, who was insanely racist and made all these projects to divide the NYC into class boroughs. Absolutely. What's up from California? Hey, it's rainy here as well. I love you too, my friend. Mass public housing could fix this, but then that would become, then what would become of the landlords? There you go. Class contradiction. It always goes back to capitalismus.
Trust the most. And I do think it is very real that there are many who are threatened by our campaign and our politics of putting working people at the heart of this city's focus and are trying to do everything in their power. And we've seen that with Donald Trump being on the phone with Andrew Cuomo, trying to do everything in his power to ensure that they stop this movement. And the sad news for them is that they won't be able to.
Is this going to change your strategy in any way where you now, it's gone from a 4%?
Say no. Say no. Fuck them. Say they are irrelevant. Say no. Fuck yeah. Say you are the future. They're irrelevant. Push that fucking line.
Person race to a 3-person race. But of course, people are saying that with Eric Adams out of the race, it's much closer to a 2-person race. You and your leading opponent, Andrew Cuomo.
We will have the same focus as we've always had on working class New Yorkers, their struggle to afford this city. And also to be very clear with New Yorkers that the reason that Donald Trump is seeking to clear the lane for Andrew Cuomo is because he knows that Andrew Cuomo will clear the lane for Donald Trump's agenda. There is a reality to the fact that it takes two to tango, and these are the two people that are so often on New Yorkers' minds as an example of the politics we have to leave in the past.
Well, indeed, Zoran, your entire platform has focused principally on affordability and, as you said, helping the working class. But what appeared surprising to some in the Democratic primary is that Cuomo had a double-digit lead over you in low-income neighborhoods. So how do you explain that, and what are you doing to assuage whatever the concerns of this constituency are?
You know, when I started this race, and I was here on the first day of the campaign, I was also here on primary day, and I'm very happy to be back.
You know, that's the what's the word? A friend of mine also, the same one that did the allegory with being a Marxist, this straight guy and somebody entering the conversation that doesn't know anything about Marxism and like preaching shit is probably what women feel like 100% of the time when they go to a bar or when they're in a larger group of people and they're sharing their opinion on a complex issue. He also said the insanity of the modern late stage capitalist pitch towards socialism is that it is the most difficult to pitch. The insanity is that it is the most difficult to pitch Marxism to the poorest members of society. Because as a snake eating its own ass, I said the thing, it's the most difficult for people that are incredibly impoverished, therefore have the least access to information and even class consciousness to understand the concept that might actually end up lifting them up the most from the solution of the current system. Isn't that fucking hilariously fucked up? Right? So fucked up. So incredibly messed up. It's really hard to door knock in certain low-income neighborhoods because there's a bunch of layers of security to access the door. So people doing groundwork instead of mass media tend to struggle here. Yeah. That's a very material example for It's very difficult to explain a complex issue to someone that has 3 jobs. Because they don't want to, they got to do their fucking 3 jobs. They got to pay food for their fucking 2 kids. Like, it's, I ain't got time for you to preach fucking Marxism to me. What the fuck?
I spoke about the fact that I was a state assembly member who at that time was polling, let's say 1%, and that's being charitable to me. That's rounding up. And I think for much of the campaign, it was introducing myself and our movement to New Yorkers. And we introduced ourselves to quite a few, which by the end of that primary meant that we won close to 600,000 votes. And yet that work still continues, because when I'm running against Andrew Cuomo, it's not just his name or his record that comes to mind for New Yorkers, it's also that of his father. And so for many New Yorkers, that was the association that they began the race with. And now we are building a coalition that shows our agenda is one that will deliver that affordability to each and every New Yorker.
New York Mayor
Let's see a CNN clip.
Eric Adams says he is ending his bid for re-election. He made the announcement just a short time ago. Adams had been campaigning as an...
It's nearly impossible to reach renters, at least where I am, because most apartment complexes have rules banning quote-unquote solicitors. Yeah. And even if you reach them, it's much more difficult to explain to them what they might gain than it is to somebody that, ironically, might gain a lot less from a different system, right? It's the crazy dichotomy of it is, how do I phrase this? It's more likely for someone who will gain a 20% increase on their current life standards in a, let's even say, democratic socialist society, to understand and to join our cause for that 10% increase on life standards than it is to pitch to someone that will receive an 150% increase in life standards when it comes to pitching to them to join the movement. That is a massive problem we have to tackle. And one way that to an extent allows us to get over that particular field of burden is entertainment and digital platforms like Twitch, like YouTube, like whatever, right? Because they might accidentally fall into one, like they're watching a history video, oh, there's a Hakeem video, and then there's a Yugopnik video, and then there's a Second Thought video. Oh, now I'm watching Hassan. Oh, now I'm watching Mike from PA. Oh, now I'm watching Yugopnik. Oh, now I'm... A door does not need to be knocked. The 1 hour of free fucking screen time they have is what we can potentially co-opt. And that's why I stand my ground on this. That's why it's not a LARP. It's I think when done properly in the way I presented in my video, that to this day people are always quoting, very often not quoting, that I respectfully did set it as a principle, the funnel. Okay, that's why it's very important that when we get people like that coming in our digital areas, to then push them back out on the street. This is why I tell anyone who listens about the deprogram, even if doing so makes me look foolish at times. Yeah, it's okay.
Independent and was running well behind in most polls. Now, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who's also running for mayor as an independent,
Thank you, QW MLK42 for the gift, for the paying forward. This is my favorite. When I see people paying forward, that's fucking legendary. If you are in chat and you have enough money and you've been gifted a sub, be like QW. That's literally like, if everybody did that, almost every, not fuck me, especially now it's discounted. Now we got what? We got 2 days left. If together with the Oilers and people that potentially, if you can afford it, of course, if you paid forward your the subs that some kind person gifted to you, every leftist fucking streamer on this platform would be financially sustainable. Every single one of them, the small ones to the big ones, every single one of them. We just got to bring up more consciousness about it, I guess. Because you got Oilers, which are fucking fantastic. They're doing relatively okay in the system, but they're class traders of whatever PMC category or fucking et cetera, or even if they're capitalists, and they're helping out fellow chatters and they're helping out the show. But then, as individuals who have received the gift, if you pay forward, it's literally the coolest shit you can do. It's the coolest shit you can do. Because that like bouncing effect would immediately double, like unironically double the subscription base of every streamer, even if half of the people that were gifted a sub paid forward. Even if half paid forward, you would make the smallest and the biggest streamer incredibly sustainable. Anyways, thank you, Pixarino, for the 5 + 1 6. Thank you for the 6. Thank you very, very much, my friend. As always, fucking Pixarino's in here since the beginning.
Praised Adams for putting the well-being of the city first. For more on this, we have CNN's Gloria Pazmino. Gloria, what can you tell us about this perhaps not so surprising?
We're doing a very weird velo. A friend from Sweden came. I don't know what this says. Fucking Scandinavians fucking tell me. Oh, a Danish guy blew my mind. Really blew my mind. If you do these, he said, when you put it in, the second you feel a high, that means you will feel the same strength of the high for the next 10 minutes. So the second you feel the high, the nicotine high, being too much for you, immediately take it out, because it's going to take at least it's going to continue for at least 10 minutes. That is the most ingenious fucking approach to pouches that I've ever heard in my life. It helps out so much. But then I gave it back to him with an advice that a Danish person would never be able to understand. And that's, I took it because it was too strong for me, and after like 6 minutes I took it out. because for the next 10 minutes it's gonna hit me. But when I took it out and I put it on top of my bag. And he's like, dude, what the fuck? Just throw it out. I'm like, why throw it out? And this rich Danish boy, he's great. He's a great kid, but he's a great guy. He's older than me. He's got a PhD in robotics or some shit. And he's like, but no, why are you keeping it on top of the box? And I'm like, I'm just going to use it later. I use it a little bit. Like, this can get you nicotine for like at least an hour and 20 minutes. I only use it for like 10 minutes. I have a lot more use out of it. And his eyes just went, what? You can reuse them? I'm like, yeah, but isn't that nasty? I'm like, yeah, it's a little bit wet, but I'll get over it. And he just like blanked out for 10 seconds. He's like, dude, you just saved me at least like 200 euros a month. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I unironically never thought about reusing one. I'm like, the second I feel the intense high, I take it out and I throw it in the bin, or I put it in here. And he's like, why do you use the thing that opens? I'm like, I use it to keep zins that I'm still consuming. Zins that I'm no longer consuming. I always have only one zin in here, usually, or two, if there's not trash cans around for a very long period of time. I throw out the one I'm not using. I put the one that I am going to reuse in here. And he's like, what? You just saved me like over 200 fucking euros a month. I always just throw them out immediately. I'm like, what? Common sense, right? Right? I don't know if any of you... So we exchanged. I learned a lot from him about the 10-minute rule, and I blew his rich northern Western European mind by being like, no, you can use it again. Like, milk it. I call it milking them. I call it milking your pouch, like actually using the entirety of the pouch. Dude, stop. You're reusing musty, moist zins. This is why the world is burning down. I'm blaming the consumer as always. I missed saying very deep thank you to Pizza Famine as always. I'm very grateful to you, my friend, for the 10-12 now. Thanks to the Subathon and Valorant. Thank you very much, and thank you Kubashi for the additional. Thank you Kubashi, and thank you Pizza Famine. You fucking legends are legends. What's this? Why is it always asking me to accept?
When a person was shot doors from my house, I realized how important my crusade is.
This 14 years ago. Oh my God. I thought this was a different person. But then I saw 14 years ago. I genuinely thought this was not Eric Adams.
Removing illegal handguns.
Man, he was chubby before that Turkish Botox started hitting.
Off the streets of New York.
Wait, you guys are telling me I'm stupid for milking my zins? Are you guys fucking serious? Hype train, by the way. Let's make it true. Pay your taxes, especially Westerners. Fucking Westerners. Let me add.
Hi, I'm New York State Senator Eric Adams. And for 22 years, I wore a bulletproof vest.
Okay, I'm not racist, because after I said big risk for a fucking white boy from the Balkans, like I was like, okay, because I was like immediately, this is Eric Adams, but younger. But then I was like, oh, if it's not, I'm just dead. I'm dead. Chad is throwing me off a fucking building.
And stood on the street corners and protected children and families in the city of New York. I'm asking you to join me in this crusade of removing illegal handguns off our streets and out of our homes. Please come and join me inside my house as I show you how simple items such as your household. And no one can state that you can't.
Dude, what a class trader. Holy mother of class trader. Look at like a normal fucking human house, okay? Normal human house. And now he's a fucking Turk multimillionaire. This is a guy that lives in this type of house. A guy that used to live in this type of house is trying to tell us that we shouldn't listen to Mamdani. Okay? Mother of all class traders. Holy fucking shit, my guy. Holy mother of Jesus.
Surprising breaking news, but still stunning nonetheless.
Over the last several weeks, Danny, we had been wondering whether or not this was going to happen. Eric Adams had been under a lot of public pressure, frankly, including from many of the city's business leaders and real estate leaders to drop out of the campaign and the race for mayor because he'd been polling so poorly, and there was...
Holy shit, the fucking landlords told him to pull out. And they tell us there's no direct political influence by particular classes of society. A bunch of the wealthiest people, they're saying it on CNN in 4K. A bunch of the wealthiest people in one of the wealthiest cities on planet Earth just low-key hit up my boy, and they were like, nah, you gotta bounce because we're gonna lose money because you ain't winning. Which tells you, like, who was his backer? Who was his backer for so long? Who was his backer? Who was his backer? That's why I find Nazis so fucking stupid. Oh, Jews. Oh, this. Dude. Like, no. But there is unironically like a group of people that are using their big bank accounts to do this type of shit. Doesn't matter what fucking ethnicity they are. Hype train, 20 seconds. Come on. 73%. Make it true, man. Make it true. Come on. Make that thing engorge, dude. You're only like 5 inches long right now, which is perfectly fine. But come on. You can do better.
It's really just the numbers suggested that he was not going to be able to get ahead. Now, all of this is because...
Whatever the hype train level is the current size of chat, okay? Right now you're 5, which is acceptable.
Democratic mayoral nominees,
and I'm very grateful for it.
Zohran Mamdani, who won the primary, has continued to grow his support according to the most recent round of polling, and Eric Adams had been unable to essentially catch fire. Over the last several weeks, we heard a mayor that was essentially blaming the media and the coverage of his administration for his inability to raise campaign funds, saying that he was having a hard time mounting a campaign because he could not raise the money as a result.
Because the fucking landlords that paid for your campaign are no longer interested in you.
According to him, of the negative cover.
Look at his staircase. Remember the previous video? How he used to live like? Imagine having a staircase like this in your house. In New York City. Okay? This is... Eric Adams is ContraPoints for people that don't have a TikTok.
In the video announcement, which he posted to X just a short while ago, the mayor talked about many of his administration's accomplishments, talking about the fact that when he took office, New York City was just coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. He talked about the fact that there is a record low number of shootings and homicides right now. The city is the safest it has ever been, but he said that he could not continue to run for re-election. Take a listen.
I cannot continue my re-election campaign.
That the city is the safest it's ever been is CNN running basically a side campaign for him, just by the way.
The constant media speculation about my future and the campaign finance board's decision to withhold millions of dollars have undermined my ability to raise the funds needed for a serious campaign.
Now, Danny, I just want to talk about a little bit of the symbolism that we're seeing on that video. The mayor is sitting on the steps of Gracie Mansion, the inside of Gracie Mansion, the steps that lead up to the private residence, where he's...
Okay, you get the mansion when you're the... Okay. You get the mansion when you're the president of the country of New York.
So, this is a biblical moment. You know, when Jesus was on the cross, he said, God, forgive them, for they know not what they do. All these Negroes who are asking me to step down, God, forgive them.
You know how, just comparing yourself to the Son of God or the prophet, depending if you're religious in chat. Just comparing yourself to a prophet or the Son of God. Just, what normal people do, just like, oh, I'm having problems. Oh, I am literally Jesus Christ. My suffering is equal to a guy that was nailed to a cross. Oh, Lord. Narcissism? I don't think it counts when you compare yourself to God. Not even Jesus Christ said he was the Son of God.
He's been living over the past 3.5
Yeah, you get my point. That both interpretations, it's
almost 4 years.
trying to be kind to Muslims and Christians in the way they interpret Jesus. It's okay. The point is somebody comparing himself to either a prophet or a son of God. Holy mother of shit.
And next to him is a picture of his mother. And this is a very significant sort of visual tool that Mayor Adams has used over and over in the last few years. And he does this when he's trying to talk about his story, right? A kid that came up
He was trying to get those like atheist voters.
in Brooklyn.
He's like, I'm going to disrespect Jesus Christ so hard, all the atheists are going to vote for me.
A young man who grew up to become a police captain, someone who eventually got elected to local politics here in New York City, who spent a lot of his political life talking about criminal justice reform and reforming the police because he himself...
I don't know what he did. I went to New York City, third party, completely uninvolved in the life of everyday New Yorkers, and I had to step over dying people everywhere on the street. It is not normal, even in my incredibly impoverished part of the world. How the fuck is it supposed to be normal in one of the wealthiest cities on planet Earth? He is the definition of an incredibly incapable mayor and a consequence of decades upon decades of mismanagement of the city. That's it. That's it. Sorry, you cannot tell me you're doing a good job managing a city where there's fucking dying people everywhere on the street. What the fuck are you talking? What? Only an American can like hear me saying these particular words. Just dying people on the street. Oh yeah. I mean, they're fucking, they're just fucking junkies, just fucking homeless alcoholic dogs, or some shit like that. No. Nobody else on planet Earth would accept that. Everybody else would think, holy shit, this is the unironic apocalypse. If their cities looked anything like New York. Okay? Everybody else would be like, this is the apocalypse. Because it looks like the apocalypse. At least in the apocalypse, people know it's the apocalypse. In New York, they just, step over the corpses in their fucking fancy suits. I got terror class in the U.S. and Germany. Currently changing the permanent residency laws in Sweden as well. So tell me, do you know any baddies in Sweden that want to get married? Fucking legend. That's why I'm very, very careful because I'm an immigrant as well. Still in the Balkans, but still an immigrant with a permanent residency. I'm very That's why I'm wearing a mask, and I'm very careful with shit I do, because that shit would fuck me up big time. Have you spent any time in the U.S. to see how much the American people actually don't care? They walk across a dying person in the street and think someone else will call 911. Yeah, I have. Absolutely. Damire, absolutno. Totalno je sjebano. If I'm classifying you from the name as one of us, it's so fucked. Anywhere else on planet, if any large city on the planet outside of the U.S. if their streets looked the way New York City looks, they would think they were going through an apocalypse. And this is coming from someone that has fucking been there a lot of times.
Was abused by police officers when he was a young man. This was all part of his campaign that eventually led him to become mayor nearly 4 years ago, the city's second black mayor. So there's certainly a lot of symbolism behind the video that the mayor posted just a short while ago. Of course, now the question is whether or not this is going to make any difference to a race where the Democratic nominee, Mamdani, is dominating so strongly in the polling, and whether or not it's going to help Andrew Cuomo, and whether or not the support is going to coalesce behind Cuomo. We are getting a little bit of reaction from the former governor. He put out a statement just a short while ago praising Eric Adams for his decision.
Cuomo is the Hillary Clinton of our times, bro. Double loss. Let's Hillary Clinton Cuomo. Somebody make that into a hashtag. Are we still doing hashtags? Somebody make that into a hashtag.
Saying that he was putting the city ahead of his own ambitions. He also talked about his story, calling it undeniably one of resilience and a testament to the spirit of New York City.
Well, I'll make that into a tweet. Fuck it. Or is it too inside joke? Is it too inside joke? Andrew Cuomo the Hillary Clinton of New York. 2 losses back to back. But did she have 2 losses back to back? Yeah, she did. Obama and then Trump. Make Andrew Cuomo the Hillary Clinton of New York. 2 losses back to back. There we go. It's Cuomo, right? It's Cuomo. It's not Como. It's not Camo. It's not Camo. No, it's Cuomo. Cuomo. Yeah, there we go.
Those are very kind words from the former governor, who in the last few weeks has been sparring with Eric Adams and mounting pressure for him to get out. Danny?
This mayor's race just keeps getting more fascinating. All right, Gloria Pasmino, thanks so much for that reporting.
Whoa, the way it swished. Oh, the way it swished, that was epic. No. Is this his mother? Please don't tell me it's his mom. Yeah, because like if it's his mom, it's cringe. But if it's like some like civil rights activist, then it's like ultra cringe. It looks like his mom. Yeah, they look alike. It is? Okay, it is, yeah.
Nearly 4 years ago, Gracie Mansion became my home. Who would have thought that a kid from South Jamaica, Queens, growing up with learning disabilities could one day become the mayor of the greatest city in the world?
Everyone. If you sell out, everyone. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. If you sell out, yeah, literally everyone. A struggling ethnic minority that wants to be the face of capitalist overconsumption. Everyone. That you're literally like that's the W. That's the W. Yeah. So yeah, everyone.
I cannot thank my mother enough for instilling in me the values she lived by.
Your mom was a sellout. What?
I hope every parent can use my life as an example for their child during challenging moments.
What? They should tell them that they should sell the fuck out?
Only in America
can you sell out so hard. What's a bigger pinnacle of a sellout than a black cop? Like, let's be honest. The only way you can be more sellout than a black cop is a black mayor that represents capitalists in your fucking city, in the United States of America. They really don't care about making the city cleaner if they don't own it. They just use and set up the homeless in areas where they want to lower land price so they can buy low and move in doing it again. Yeah. If you live in a city for over 3 or 4 years, you can see it happen in real time. Homeless are allowed one place and forced out, then the land is bought and luxury condos are built on top. Yeah, there's a word for it. I think all of you in chat know.
Can a story like this be told?
I know it's not my place to be making fun of a black dude that's a sellout, but like I'm not in the States, so like you could say it's not my place to talk about the States in general, but I'm a nasty babushka, bro. Like I'm gonna make it my business. I don't give a shit.
When I was elected to serve as your mayor, I said these words.
And tell me if I'm wrong. If you're a person of color in chat, tell me if I'm fucking wrong. Because I don't think I am.
This campaign was never about me. It was about the people of this city, from every neighborhood and background, who had been left behind and believed they would never catch up. This campaign was
Then they didn't.
for the underserved, the marginalized, the abandoned, and betrayed by government. Since then, it has been my honor to be your mayor, and I'm proud to say
It was my honor to whitewash the same issues that existed in the city before I came in as mayor. And I just made them, like more easily to swallow by minorities in the city because they could always point at me as a person of color and say, "Oh no, look, it's a person of color. Like shit is good, dude. There is great progress." Okay, we need a word like pink washing. We need a word for people who happen to be of a particular minority that unironically just whitewash the shit that the domestic oppressive classes do because they happen to look a particular way.
Took that victory 4 years ago.
Tokenism. There you go. Tokenism. Yeah.
And
maybe, yeah.
Turned it into action, making this city better for those who have been failed by government.
The landlords.
I felt immense pride serving you every day. And look at
Of course I would feel proud if I was getting as much money and free tickets to Turkey, bro.
What we accomplished together.
I was having sex on the fucking airport.
We built more housing in one term than any administration before us and removed barriers to build even more. We drove crime down.
Another way of saying thank you, landlords.
So far that this year we are on track to have fewer shootings and murders than at any point in our city's history. We raised test scores and attendance through bold education reforms.
The echo is killing you because he lives in a very large house, yeah.
We made record investments that fueled our economy and drove employment to all-time highs. And we lowered costs for working and low-income families, expanding funding for rental vouchers, childcare, and household costs, while
we gave you scraps. You should be very grateful for the scraps. I'm a professional translator of capitalist propaganda. Let me do my job.
Eliminating the income tax burden for more than 500,000 New Yorkers. Even so, I know many New Yorkers.
Oh yeah, I love that one. I love that one. I love that one because he's not saying by how much, okay, and he's not saying which New Yorkers.
Have yet to feel the full impact of these historic achievements. I know many are still worried about affordability, about safety, and their future here. But trust me when I tell you, what we've started will continue to reach every community in this city.
Trust me, it's gonna get better. Let's just keep doing the thing that didn't work, and it's gonna get better. Trust me. Those that come up and they actually promise that they will more proactively dedicate themselves to betterment. Don't listen to them. Just trust me. Well, let's keep taking L after L, and eventually there's going to be so many L's you will be able to paint a W with them.
It's not always easy to see the impact of good policy in just 3 years.
That's a classic. Woo! That's a classic. That's a classic. And that would be true if you didn't do anything. If you didn't do everything, if you hadn't done everything in your power to make sure the current status quo continues.
I also know some.
Cheers to everybody drinking in chat. Love you fucking cunts.
Remain unsure of me after the unfortunate events surrounding my federal case. I was wrongfully charged because I fought for this city. And if I had to do it again, I would fight for New York again. And yet, despite all we've achieved, I cannot continue my re-election campaign. The constant media speculation about my future and the campaign finance board's decision to withhold millions of dollars have undermined my ability to raise the funds needed for a serious campaign. I hope that
I was not successful in my campaign, and my billionaire donors decided not to give me money because they knew that I would lose.
over
Continue translating.
time, New Yorkers will see this city thrive under our leadership and the policies we put in place.
If we keep doing the shit that hasn't worked for you and your family, trust me, eventually it will work. I consider you to be literally fucking imbecilic. Vote for a guy that's just like me, but Italian.
Should be continued and expanded. I hope you will see that despite the headlines and innuendo, I always put you before me, always. I'm proud of the historic leadership team we built, appointing the first Dominican, Indian, and Filipino deputy mayors, the first woman to serve as fire commissioner.
I'm the king of tokens. Tokens, very good. Tokens, I love tokens. Tokens, the best. Many tokens, very nice.
Police commissioner, the first Korean commissioner at Small Business Services, the first Spanish speaker.
I am mentioning all the different ethnicities that people truly identify with, so that they identify more with me and through me with Cuomo, and not vote for the Zohran guy.
To lead the NYPD and DOT.
And then I fucked up and I mentioned the police force.
And the first Jewish woman to head the NYPD Intelligence Division. We built leadership that...
Again, minorities. Look at me. I love all the minorities.
Looks like New York. That mattered to me because at my core, I'm still Dorothy Adams' son. Raised with the values she instilled in me, forged in my church and in my community.
The same way he previously used ethnic identity as a method of identifying with his campaign instead of what he did, he now uses religious identity as a method to call upon people to identify with him, not based on his policies and his actions, but simply identity.
Tested again and again in the fight for justice. Those values, working class values.
Another identity category, one that we love talking about here, but it can also be co-opted. He's co-opting it. He just did ethnic identity, class identity, and religious identity. I love you if you identify with that, because I just said so, and that's all of it.
Never allow me to betray my city. They have always guided me to ask and answer one simple question. How do I help those who need it most?
Myself. He's thinking of his own face right now, like oiled up and naked.
Whoever follows me at City Hall must continue the work we started, lowering the cost of living, investing in quality of life, and staying laser focused on reducing crime and disorder through investments in policing, mental health, substance abuse care, homelessness services, and community-based initiatives.
More guns for cops, cops being able to kick out homeless people, and insurance companies paying for your health care, not free health care.
I must also sound a warning. Extremism is growing in our politics.
I was paid a lot by AIPAC, and now I have to say this. That was their last request before they let me go. I got like $100K for this one.
Children are being radicalized to hate our city and our country. Political anger is turning into political violence. Too often.
I just, 10 seconds ago, I talked about how I should give cops more guns to do political violence, but I am now going to recontextualize what political violence means in order to utilize it against the impoverished. The impoverished that are angry and therefore, using physical means against the states or the state or representatives of the state.
Insidious forces use local government to advance divisive agendas with little regard for how it hurts everyday New Yorkers. Major change is welcome and necessary, but beware of those who claim the answer to destroy the very system we built.
Zohran is bad because capitalism is good. Zohran is bad because he uses scary words. I do not. Do you remember how I said that Dominicans are like really good now? Yeah.
Together over generations. That is not change. That is chaos.
It was also capitalism that probably enslaved your great-grandpa, with all due respect. You know, you want to keep that system? Okay, God bless.
Instead, I urge New Yorkers to choose leaders not by what they promise, but by what they have delivered.
Oh, yeah, new people entering the political climate, you shouldn't listen to them because they don't have previous experience. What is his previous experience? Doing jack fucking shit.
So this is the end.
Yo, Twitch algorithm somehow kicked in. I'm a frequent listener to the program. Love the show. Thank you for your work, comrade. No, thank you for joining our community, my dear friend. And welcome in.
Of my re-election campaign. It is not the end of my public service. I will continue to
take money as from whoever gives me, because I have dedicated my life to be just a spokesperson for the status quo. I mean nothing. I am a shell of a human being who has fallen so low that I'm sitting on the staircase of my massive government-appointed mansion with a picture of my mother behind me, trying to give a liberal pitch against progress.
Fight for this city, as I have for 40 years since the day I joined the NYPD, to make our streets safer and our systems fairer.
Back when I was young, I actually thought I was doing the right thing. I thought that law could potentially help our city. I joined the police force. I had two choices in front of me. Either abandoning the pursuit of being a police officer by realizing that it actually serves the status quo, or fully giving in to this incredibly egoistic path I have visibly in front of my eyes. And the only way for me to become a bigger cop after I dedicated myself to being a cop is becoming a mayor and just literally becoming the biggest cop on planet Earth in one of the world's biggest cities.
The quest for justice is far from over. Inequality persists.
But remember, anybody who talks about it is doing political violence.
Since still suffer, New Yorkers deserve better every single.
That's why I want to give bigger guns to cops. That's how we're going to solve it. Bigger guns solve everything.
Day. And until the end of my term, I will fight for just that. We face the fallout of COVID, a surge in crime, an unprecedented migrant crisis. I will fight for just that. We face the fallout of COVID, a surge in crime, an unprecedented migrant crisis, and economic devastation all at once. And together, we turn things around by listening to everyday people and providing solutions instead of speeches. That gives me hope. That gives us a roadmap to a better future. My fellow New Yorkers, this is your city. Its leaders work for you. I am one of you. My story is your story. I lived the struggle, but I never stopped loving this city. That is why I ran for mayor, to turn my pain into purpose.
New York City, you have given us some of the greatest cultural milestones of our time. One could argue in all of human history. You show the potential of being the flag bearers of America's progress, future, and an alternative to the current speed run towards chaos, fascism, and the eventual death of America the way we know it. So, if there is anyone in the United States of America that has the potential to bring about an alternative imagination of what the American experiment could be, it is you. And I'm very grateful to you for that. I'm very grateful to half of the shit that I really love, unironically, half of the shit that I enjoy on a daily basis probably came from some New Yorker who figured it the fuck out. So, if you are capable of doing these immense feats of artistic, political, ideological, spiritual preaching that you have done so well throughout your short history, I am very sure you can also do in the future. If there's anyone that has been able to go against the grain, against the status quo of American politics, culture, music, art, everything, it is you guys. So just embrace another field of betterment of both you and the American way of life and the world's way of life. It's you. So stop listening to talking heads like this and actually be radical. Because you've been radical in all those fields except maybe politics. It's time to take up the political mantle. Or I guess just listen to this guy and then politely step over the next dying corpse on the street as you go and get your matcha latte. The choice is literally yours. It's literally yours.
Keep fighting for the city, no matter what, from City Hall or beyond, because I am a New Yorker, and fighting for our city is just what I do. Thank you. God bless New York.
God bless New York, I agree. The only American city I ever went to and wasn't disappointed by, and yet, I still unfortunately see it as dystopian as fuck, but I don't see it as having to stay dystopian as fuck forever. But it's on you. Give us the biggie of politics. Give us Zohran. Maybe he fucks up the way that Biggie to an extent did as well. Or maybe he doesn't. Let's do this beautiful toss of the dice. Let's see where it goes. Worst case scenario, he's the same as the rest. Best case scenario, you get a little bit of hope. And trust me, my friend, we all need a little bit of fucking hope. We all need a little bit of fucking hope.
We will all go together when we go. What a comforting fact that is to know. Universal bereavement.